guys, it's your girl Victoria back to you with another review for Married at First Sight Season 16, Episode 13, called I'm Not Acting Crazy With You Tonight. Ain't nobody acting crazy, okay? It was a valid question, Kirsten, because that's who I feel like this title was geared towards. Calm down. So we gonna start off with 21 days until decision day. I really wish it was 1 day until decision day. I really wish next week was the season finale. But looks like we still got like weeks upon weeks of this show. So we're going to start off with none other than Kirsten and Shaq. You know, I still keep saying Kristen. It is what it is. Kirsten and Shaq. So they're home. Well, no, she's showing him a home. Because, you know, she's a realtor. So she wants him to see her in her element. But it's like you're showing him the house. So you're not really in your element. If you was really in your element, he would be overseeing you show another couple or somebody else a house. But whatever. She's showing him some $2 million house. I don't know why. You setting him up for, you know, expectations that he cannot obtain. Not by himself, at least. Probably not even with you. But still, she's showing him this big house, this nice house. So then they get to talking about buying a home, having kids running around the house, having visitors, kids' friends, all that stuff. So then Kirsten, she wants to be getting a house right away, I guess, post-decision day, especially since in a few months, homeboy Shaq's lease about to end up. So she's just like, I'm gonna just need, you know, I really want to move into a house right away. You know, you need to get me a house. You know, you need to, you know, I'm your wife, so you need to get your wife a house, because there's plenty of people who be getting their wives houses and a car and stuff. He looking at her crazy. I'm looking at her crazy. Twitter's looking at her crazy. I don't know how you go from, oh, you know, if I'm not attracted to him, I'm going to have him kiss me on the cheek, to you need to buy me a house. So is it kind of like, even though you're not attractive, if he coming correct with the funds, you okay to move forward in the relationship? That's what you giving me, Kirsten. And if that's the case, you need to go find somebody else who got the funds to buy you the $2 million house on their own with their own income, and just let Shaq be real with him, be like, it ain't gonna work, so he could go and get with Jasmine after the season's over. Anywho, so like I said, he's looking at her crazy, and Kirsten says he has to be the one who gets the house because she gonna be having his kids. So that's all you bringing to the table, Kirsten, because you gonna be pushing out his big-headed kids. So you know that's gonna be your push gift, as she says, for the house. Is there anything else you're gonna be putting to the table? Because if he gonna be getting the house, then what are you gonna bring to the table other than providing kids? Because he could do that with somebody else who gonna give him the kids, but who's also gonna work with him in getting a house together. Because I'm just saying, you a realtor, you should know how the economy is. What's the likelihood of somebody getting a house of your caliber by themselves if they not someone out here making like bank? And from what Shaquille's saying, he's still in school. He still got, you know, probably debt. Probably not only school debt, but other type of debt. So, you know, let's be realistic here, Kirsten. Let's be realistic. Or are you, you know, purposely setting these high expectations because you know he can't fill it? So then that could be your, you know, excuse for when decision day come why you can't make it work with him, because he can't fit what you need, even though I'm sure you know your expectations are out of this world, ridiculous for the average Joe out in these streets. I'm just saying, I don't know what she's trying to do here, but listen, we all calling the BS. But in her delusional head, she thinks her expectation ain't high, per the last conversation of this damn episode. So you know what? We'll get to that when, you know, the end of the episode. But at this point, I'm just like, Kirsten, please, I don't know who you're trying to fool, but you ain't fooling nobody. I don't even think you're fooling yourself, but she gonna try to play dumb in front of the cameras and stuff. But behind closed doors, I'm pretty sure it's a whole different conversation from what Shaquille be saying on the after party. So anywho, we're gonna move on to Jasmine. Her friend Nikki comes over to visit her so they can sit down with wine and talk about how Jasmine's failed relationship and marriage is going. And, you know, the friend family, whoever they talk to, be trying to give some advice. Even though I feel like y'all be trying, but y'all don't be giving sufficient advice, in my personal opinion. But the friend's advice is for Jasmine not to close herself off just because the marriage is hard right now. Yeah, okay. You saying that because you're the outside, but if you really in that relationship, if you was feeling the same way Jasmine be feeling, I don't think you'll be giving that advice. Because if I could see just from what I see on camera with the producer show that Aerys for the most part really ain't shit, then I could only imagine how it is, living in the moment, not only on when cameras are around, but behind closed doors, it might be worse that she might not be letting on. I'm not saying that's what it is, but I'm just saying for the most part, I know, she don't like conflict and stuff, so she don't want to maybe put him out too bad, but it could really be worse and we don't even know. So no, I don't think this is sufficient advice. And maybe you're just saying that for the cameras, but hopefully Jasmine's letting you know what the real tea is after the camera people be like, cut. Because I just don't feel like, don't close yourself off. Why? He closes himself off from the beginning, or once he knows she wasn't no freaking the sheets, or like, she don't bring out the whore. He was closed off, so no, she didn't be closed off. It's a wrap with these two. We all know this, just like Clint and Gina. So we then move on to Nicole and Chris. So I guess for this episode, everybody's supposed to bring their spouse to something that reminds them of their childhood. So Nicole brings Chris to an Italian deli because it's the closest thing that reminds her of an Italian deli she went to when she was younger, when she was back in New York. So, of course, this is the moment where Nicole can talk about her past. Once again, it's just everything we hear about Nicole's past is negative. I'm not saying, she can't let Chris know, but I'm just kind of like, is there anything happy that happened in your past? Because this seems like stuff that you just need to be talking with some type of therapist or life coach or something, because I'm just like, Chris be looking like he's over it. I'm over it. I'm just like, we get it. Nicole, you had a terrible past. And you were rebellious when you were younger, a teenager, but honestly nowadays, who isn't rebellious when they're like in their teens growing up? I mean, we all have riffraffs with our family, with our parents and all that stuff. When we're trying to grow up, we're thinking we're grown and our parents trying to let us, humble us. But it's just like, I'm just tired of the negative talk at this point. Every time they talk about their past, it's always about negative stuff. And, Chris be looking low-key, high-key scared most of the time when she be telling him about what she be had going on in the past. And Chris letting us know in the confessional, the ways it seemed like she was in the past, it reminds him of his exes. And I'm so tired that he keep bringing up his exes. So he keep bringing up his exes. She keep bringing up her past. And I'm just like, okay, can either of y'all talk about anything positive? Because it's always something negative in the past. And I'm just over that. Like, other than that, y'all a boring couple, which is, I guess, good because y'all don't have no drama. But at the same time, I'm so tired of the trauma bonding conversations that it's like, I just want to fast forward y'all scenes, but I can't do that because I want to, just in the case if I miss something, I watch it. But it's just the same conversation, different episode, different day, different scene, and whatnot. So it is whatever. So Nicole tells us in the confessional she wants to tell him about everything so he can decide if he still wants to be with her on decision day. No, you don't need to tell him everything, Nicole, okay? First off, this is what everybody be talking about on Twitter in the comments. You be self-sabotaging, okay? You don't need to tell him about everything. Now, as time goes on, when you guys get to those conversations, even though it felt like y'all got through every conversation you could think of at this point, and it hasn't even been 2 months, you don't need to tell him everything. For why? You kind of already gave him a gist of everything you done been through at this point. So, no, you don't need to tell him everything. He don't tell you everything. All he talks about is his exes and what they done did to him. Because he did nothing wrong. I'm sure he did something wrong in a relationship, but he ain't going to tell you. He ain't going to tell us. It's, he's the victim. So, if he not telling you everything, why? You don't have to tell him everything. I'm sorry. But y'all new to this. Y'all married, but ain't no point in putting your all and telling him literally what happened to you from the day you came out of your mother's vagina, stomach, or however you was born till the day y'all talking. Like, y'all, you don't need to do all that. Okay, y'all have a lifetime, right? Slow down, just enjoy the moment for what it is. You should have just revel in the fact that this deli reminds you of New York. But okay, we move on to 20 days until decision day. We have Jenna and Clint. They go play soccer / talk in the rain because they went to talk I already noticed it was wet outside. I'm like, okay, I guess they're gonna go play soccer post rain because that reminds Clint of his childhood. And while they're talking, it's raining. You see the droplets on their shirts. I'm like, so we gonna play soccer anytime soon because y'all it seem like y'all getting poured on. Clint's hair was all fluffy and stuff, and it's no longer fluffy. I'm looking at Gina's shorts. I'm like, Gina, you wearing the same short? So both of y'all like shorts. Y'all have a favorite pair of shorts. Gina likes the little baggy orange shorts, whereas Clint likes his little blue swim trunks that he be wearing the other episodes. He didn't wear it this episode, surprisingly, but y'all, I see y'all be recycling y'all clothes, and I don't know if just the producers and cameras be catching it on the wrong day and they want to recycle it so we could talk, because I'm sure I'm talking right now. But I see y'all like to recycle clothes. Gina with her orange shorts, Clint with his blue swim trunks, and then Chris, we're gonna see later on, with his striped tank top. So nothing else to take from that. They do play soccer eventually, but I'm just like, so y'all really just playing soccer in the rain. Moving on, we get to Aerys and Jasmine. They go to a card shop a card shop because that reminds Aerys of his childhood. So he's trying to open to her up to her about his past and why he likes cards so much and how, his past affects his present. Same conversation, different day pretty much. And Jasmine doesn't really say anything because she doesn't have nothing to say. Aerys looks a little annoyed, but it does seem like he's trying to open up a little bit, but Jasmine's still hesitant about opening up because she doesn't know how committed he is to this relationship, to this marriage. So she doesn't feel like she wants to open up until she knows for sure that he's down for the get down in regards to the relationship. Jasmine, I don't blame you because homeboy, you try to open up and be like, you kind of a goody two shoes. There's nothing wrong with that. But he can't appreciate you for being who you are because he wants to bring out the whore in you. So therefore, listen, if that's how you feel, Jasmine, don't open up. For what? For why? I mean, it doesn't make the conversation a little awkward. I mean, yeah, especially since you gonna go through the whole 8 weeks with homeboy, so I would figure you might want to say something. But I mean, just don't give him too much. Don't be a Nicole and talk about every day of your life. But since he's trying to open up, I guess have some type of conversation. But she just be like, wow, I just don't know what to say. But at the same time, Aerys, you brought on yourself. So at this point, whatever. Jasmine, if you want to be closed off, I ain't gonna. It is what it is. We move on to Kirsten and Shaq. She brings Shaq to her old childhood home, and her dad provided for her siblings and her mom. He's the one who got the house that she showed him. So that's why she puts that pressure on Shaq. So Shaq still ain't feeling the fact that he has to be the sole person to buy a house when both him and Kirsten, they both work. I'm pretty sure they both have good paying jobs. So he doesn't feel like it's fair. And does Kirsten say anything? I don't. Listen, he's still not feeling it. And Kirsten just lets us know in the confessionals that she ain't trying to introduce Shaq to her dad because she don't know if this relationship is real. Like, she don't know what's going to happen after decision day. So she doesn't want to introduce her family until she knows the relationship is real. Which on one hand I can understand, but on the other hand, I just feel like she's trying to find any excuse or reasoning to tell us why she don't want to introduce, when we all know from probably day one she already knew, oh, this ain't gonna work. I already know I'm gonna say no on decision day. So it is what it is. We move on to 19 days until decision day. Gina takes Clint to hair school because that's where I guess she got her passion, that she knew, oh, I'm gonna be a hairstylist, and to now where she has her own salon and her own business and all this, the brick and mortar and stuff. Okay, what else about the you and hair, Gina? Because that's all we talk about. We don't talk about nothing of your past. Are we really surprised? At this point, I seen the hair school and I'm like, what else is new? Like, if we're not going to talk about nothing else with Gina, it's going to be about hair. It's going to be about salon or hair school. So I guess Clint is starting to take some appreciation for her or whatnot, but I'm just like, okay, I'm done with this scene. We could go to the next one. We get to Nicole and Chris. So now that we have, for the most part, everybody showing the spouses something about their past, which I didn't see from, I don't believe, Shaq nor Jasmine, but I think both of them are over their marriage. We now get to the activity that the experts are having them write their own letters to their younger selves and reading it to their spouses. So while Nicole and Chris are driving to, I believe, probably Chris's, I think, I feel like they just did a little lunch. They were driving to a lunch first, and then he was going to drive her to wherever he had to show her for his, that reminds him of his childhood and whatnot. So they're driving, and Nicole reads her. I guess she wrote 2 letters to herself, if I'm correct. Because, she can't do nothing else but talk about every day of her life. So she reads one of the letters, and then I guess when they get to the picnic table, or whatever the case may be, she reads her second letter to him. And I guess he reads his letter to her, or whatever the case may be. Listen, all I gotta say with these two words in this scene: trauma bond. And the other thing was, in the confessional scene, it looked like she had a bug on her, but it looked like it was part of her shirt at the same time. But then when I seen the other scene of her talking with Chris, there was no bug on her shirt. So I don't know if that was a bug on her. If that was really a bug on her, producer, we're not gonna let her know. Listen, like, there's a big ass beetle on the strap of your shirt. You might wanna flick that off. Like, you just let her talk with a whole ass bug on her shirt. Y'all trifling. Producer, y'all trifling for that. But we move on to Jasmine and Aerys. They read their letters to each other from their younger selves. And two words I have for this scene is friend zone and checked out. And when she was reading her letter, I will just say that it looks like Aerys was really looking at her for the first time, probably after 5 weeks, but it didn't look nothing of lust or anything, just looked blank. So we gonna move on to Shaq and Kirsten. They have lunch with his godmother and his godsister. And of course, they're getting to know each other. They're showing Kirsten pictures of Shaq when he was younger and of his family members. And I guess Kirsten asked the question. What was the question? I don't remember. I didn't write down. But I just wrote this because I thought what the godmom said was very good. The godmom let Kirsten know that Shaq's gonna take care of her. So in turn, she's gonna have to do the same and make sure to take care of Shaq. Shaq is looking like, yes, godmom, thank you for letting her know, because she want me to get her whole house by myself, but she has not yet told me what she's gonna do for me other than, have my big-headed babies. Pretty much. That's all Kirsten done said. But it's like, what happened to in the beginning when y'all, before you even met, where you was talking about, you gonna be rubbing your man's feet and all that stuff? Because did she do that yet? No, because he rubbed her feet, but I don't think she rubbed his feet. Even though I guess they try to have intimate moments and stuff. I guess she gave him a kiss, so I feel like she thinks, since we kissing now, you could buy me a house. But I don't know. That's not how it works, Kirsten. It's really not how it works. But I don't think you really want this relationship anyway to, not to begin with, but to end with, really. So you're just writing it out. That's why you're not trying to introduce him to your family, because you already know it's not going to work, because you don't want it to work. So anywho, we then move on to Gina and Clint. They have dinner with her staff at their apartment, and Clint seemed a little nervous, but he did good for the most part, in a room full of ladies that's like probably just eyeing him. And, I feel like they know personally it ain't going to work, but, for the sake of the show and for the sake of writing it out, because Gina probably like, be nice, it's not gonna work, you already know I'm gonna say no, but just come so we can have some type of scenes, TV time, and that's it. We're gonna eat some lasagna. Now, from what Glenn said, he said her lasagna is on point or something. Excuse me. Now, I don't think she made that from scratch. She probably just bought some Stouffer's and really just put it in the oven and made it seem like, but I don't really think if she did make it from scratch, I'm sorry, Gina. I was just talking about you 2 seconds ago. But I'm sorry, Gina. It just didn't seem, you don't give me like, oh, I made this from scratch. But, I can't say that because you probably going to get offended and say, you don't know what I be doing in the kitchen. You don't know how I prep the night before, So just like with the athlete thing, So I'm not going to say too much, Gina, but I really feel like that's Stouffer's or something, whatever brand y'all have in Nashville, Tennessee, because I haven't been there in years. But anyway, other than that, well, Chris and Nicole, he takes Nicole to a paint shop because I guess his dad used to own a paint shop. So he used to spend a lot of days and nights and stuff at a paint shop. And, told her about the trials and tribulations him and his dad went through with their father-son relationship. Once again, all negative stuff. Nothing happening. I thought he was going to say something good about the paint shop, but clearly, I don't know why you bringing her to something that it's not the happiest of times. I mean, I guess it's something different than what your exes put you through, so you say. But I'm just like, we have nothing happy that happened to us back then. Nothing. Just all negative stuff. All right. I couldn't be relationship with y'all because I'm a be cameras will be catching so many body language from me. I don't even think people would like me, to be honest. But okay, we then get to 18 days until decision day. And Shaq, Kirsten, Aerys, and Jasmine, they go on a double date to go airsofting. I guess it was cute, but after their little activity, when they're all out of breath and sweaty, we have Jasmine and Shaq sitting on the hood of a car to talk while Aerys and Kirsten go somewhere to talk. So I'm gonna first start with Aerys and Kirsten, because we only seen like 2 seconds of them. Aerys, that's the most direct eye contact I've seen him do all season. He was looking at Kirsten like directly. His eyes was wide open. I feel like with Jasmine, his eyes be kind of like lazy and just like, yeah, this is what happened. Like he really don't care to talk to her. But with Kirsten, he looked like he was alert. The most alert I've seen him all season. Now, I feel like if he was looking at her that way, if she was looking at him the way he was looking at her, I feel like he would have busted a move. Or maybe he did. Producer just not showing us. Maybe he slid her his number. Some case, I don't know. But he was like, that's the type of girl he want. And, that's why what everybody been saying on social media, all the reviews, they correct because they should have been together, to be honest. Because I don't know what the producers, the experts are doing because clearly y'all mismatch these couples. Okay, other than that, we gonna get to Shaq and Jasmine. Shaq saying, I know I got a whole wife, over there, so I don't, but you are a very beautiful woman. He said that from not off rip, but kind of off rip because they was talking. He just had to let her know like she need to know her worth and stuff. And I'm like, this is why y'all two should have been together. And Jasmine looking at him like, dang, I wish my husband would talk to me this way. But the fact that you're pouring into me something that I'm craving from my husband, now I'm looking at you like, dang, like, this is what I wanted. And, because you're giving me that attention that I need, you starting to look good to me too. But she didn't say that, But I feel like if she would have said something, then they probably, I don't know if they conversed afterwards, but I feel like they would have converse, but like, all right, listen, after decision day, depending on what happens, we may meet up again. So I don't know, but I'm just kind of like, this is why y'all should have been paired. Because, then he started talking about his relationship. Because she was talking about her relationship with Eric. So that's why he said, you look beautiful and whatnot. So then he started talking about his relationship with Kirsten. And then she's just like, oh, so it bothers you that you haven't spoken with her dad. And he tried to play it off like, nah. But she's like, but you bothered though. And he's like, yeah. And I feel like he likes that she gets him and she likes that he gets her. And it just would have been a beautiful pair. It really would have. The only other thing I'm going to say is the sweat on his head was bothering me. And I'm like, can somebody wipe this off? Like, I just feel like you're not comfortable. Like, just wipe it off, please. Maybe Jasmine liked the sweat on his head. I don't know. But I really just wanted to be like, Shaq, you need a napkin or something? We can wipe that off. Or I'll give it to you. You can wipe it off because we ain't married and it's going to look wrong. But I mean, Eric's already Googling eye over your wife. So at this point, Jasmine could wipe the sweat off your head. I really think if y'all switch, I don't think anybody would be mad out of the four of y'all. I really don't think nobody would be feeling some type of way. I'm just saying. So, just like they're going to wife and husband swap with Clint and Gina and McKinley and Dominique, y'all might as well do the same thing. And Chris and Nicole could stay by themselves over there and talk trauma bond over their negative past. So then we get to Nicole and Chris. Speaking of, so they do a painting together with Nicole wearing a fake mustache. I guess it's a cute scene. Okay. Oh, this is the scene where Chris is wearing his maroon and black and gray tank top he loves to wear. Then we get to Jasmine and Aerys. They lay in bed and they talk. And Aerys letting us know he's going to lead the conversation on being open with Jasmine. E for effort, Aerys, but at the same time, it's a little bit too late, especially after all the little antics you pulled in the beginning of the season. You a little, well, not a little, you a lot of too late, Aerys. So, good luck with that, but she still ain't gonna be giving you nothing. She may give you a little bit of laugh, hee hee, ha ha, but I feel like that's just so you don't feel dumb, but you should feel dumb because the stuff you were saying the first half of the season was ridiculous. And lastly, we get to Shaq and Kirsten. I feel like whenever they need a conversation, we always end with them. So Shaq's still feeling some type of way because they're talking in the kitchen. He's mainly standing over Kirsten while she eating her little salad. And he just really want to talk to her about her high expectations for him. She don't feel like she don't have no high expectations for him. Of course you don't, Kirsten. But at the same time, I think everybody would agree with me. I believe so. Listen, you really trying to set these high expectations because you don't want it to work. You know it's not going to work because you don't find him attractive. So you going to say all these ridiculous things for him not to want you. So it's going to be easier when you let him down on decision day. So she don't think she got high expectations. And he want to talk about the fact that she wants him to get a house solely on him. She's saying that's a joke and whatnot. And, she's saying, when we get to that point, we're going to decide, we're gonna figure that out. He's like, oh, we saying we now because in the beginning we wasn't saying we, it was just me. I had to do it. So she's like, I'm not about to do this with you because you starting to act crazy, you starting to talk crazy, all that stuff. So she's over it. He's like, oh, you don't want to talk about it, but I do. I understand that, Jack. But it is the end of the night. Can we have this conversation? Like, you in a mood. Like I said, I will give Jasmine that. You in a mood. But at the same time, I'm not saying you're not valid for the way you feel because we all looking at Kirsten crazy. She a realtor, so she know the economy. She know how much these houses going for. It's hard for him to get a house by himself. She must want him to get a trailer. Because if the type of, I feel like the house that she probably would want, I don't think he could afford it. The average house nowadays, if I'm correct, is like maybe averaging 300-400, maybe even 400-500, depending where you live. So by himself, I don't know if he got it like that, but his APR probably will be hella high if he did try to get it by himself. So like I said, I just really feel like she playing in our faces, just saying this so that it'll be easier for him to like not be attracted to her when she lets him down on decision day. But she's not like trying to hear none of that. She's saying he's overthinking, overreacting. But it's like, no, now you sending mixed signals because now you talking about we cursing, what you talking about? But I'm not finna give her too much because I feel like she was just doing this for play. And that was the end of the episode. At this point, like I said, plenty of times, numerous occasions, ain't nobody gonna work. But of course they're gonna try to make it through to decision day, so they gotta put a little drama here for TV purposes. But we all are literally over this season. Can we get to season 17 at this point? Please. I really hope. But I already know it's going to be dragged out to like May. So there it is. Anyways, since that's the end, if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. If you laughed at least once, please subscribe. If you didn't laugh, come back next week. Hopefully I can make you laugh. And please comment what you thought about Kirsten's ridiculous expectations for Shaq. And if you agree that all these couples need to swap except for Nicole and Chris and their trauma bonding. They ain't gonna be easy breezy lemon squeezy, but I hope y'all will be easy breezy lemon squeezy. And I'll see you guys next week and the next one.